Hi guys, so I had my first trip back to the Aire and Calder of the year, and to be fair it went pretty well. I managed to win a section. I had a few comments about people just starting out, how I approach a canal, and obviously I fish a lot of deep canals, so I thought it's a good time now, just as it's all fresh in my mind and I'm just getting back into it. I'll give you a run through what I take with me, what I fish on a general Aire and Calder match. So we'll start with the ground baits. As you can see, I've got 3 bags of ground bait here. Don't worry, you don't have to use them all in one session if you're a bit tight like me, even from up north. So main mix, obviously it's mainly roach that we target on there, but there's a lot of skimmers around at the minute, but this mix does for them as well. So I like the deep water and the black river, and I'll put 50-50 of them in. By that I mean put half a bag of one to half a bag of other, mix them round together, and that's my initial mix. And then I will also mix up half a bag of fatchers as well, so it's got 2 purposes as this. I will fish it on the feeder, so all my matches I start off pretty same. I'll feed my balls, I'll go into it a bit more and chuck a feeder. So I always like to have a feeder set up, and I'll fish fatchers dark on that. And I've played around with a few different mixes. F1 darks, a really good mix. You'll get a lot of fish, but they tend to be smaller. And a more fish meal based mix, like the fatchers, tend to get just the same amount of fish, but they tend to be a bit bigger. So keep that one to yourself, but yeah, it tends to pick out the bigger fish. As well, when it's mixed up, I'll mix it for my skimmer line as well. So this is my roach line, so I'll have my deep water, my black river. I'll mix that, and then from that, I'll use it for my skimmer line as well. So what I'll do is I'll feed 3 balls on my skimmer line at the start, so I'll put 2 balls of deep water in and a ball of the fatchers. So by that I'll take a cup of each, cup of fatchers, so I'm fishing it 2 to 1 even, and then I will add some leam as well. I haven't got any leam here at the minute, but I do like a bit of damp leam on that long line. I just think you're fishing for skimmers, like a bit of lean, like the cloud, carries your bait really well. So yeah, mix up the fatchers. For the feeder, so mix it same, just take a bit out of my feeder mix, put it into my skimmer mix, and then the rest of it will be used for my roach mix. So as much as there's 3 bags, you'll get a couple of sessions out of them bags, and away you go, you'll catch loads of fish. So that's the initial bait done. Obviously to that I'm adding hemp, dead maggot, dead pinkies, worms. Forgot my red worms, but I definitely don't leave house to that canal without red worms. On the feeder, in my eyes, they're a must. You just catch that many skimmers and bream, and you'll catch pommies, all sorts, just on a little red worm. And on your pole line as well, feeding mince worms, little red worms on hook, that's the one. Moving on to the more terminal tackle part, if you want to see. So we'll start off with elastics. I've got 3 main elastics here. I have also got some of the free Jura on order, so I can't tell you much about that at the minute because I haven't used it. I will be putting it in a few of my top kits, giving it a go. I think it'll be spot on, to be fair. I do like the free original, but I reckon the free Jura might just be able to swing them a bit better, but we'll see. I'm going to have a play with it. But at the minute, for my roach on a strung out rig, I like the original free, just through with 1 section, so you've got a little bit of elastic. You'll get loads out of these, to be fair. You get, what is it, 5 metres of elastic, and I'm using probably 1.5 metres of it at most, so you'll get at least 4 top kits out of one of them. That's through 1 section. Then I'll also have a bulk and dropper rig, so a bit of an heavier rig set up with 5, so you're fishing more on bottom, that lagged on a little bit. You will catch the odd skimmer and bigger fish on bottom as well as your roach, and it's spot on as that. So I'll fish the 5 Jura, and then on my long line for the skimmers, you can't beat an original 6. Don't mind the 5 as well, to be fair, but my go-to at the minute and what I fished at the weekend were original 6 through 2 sections. Can't go wrong. Tried and tested, been around a long time with them elastics, and they're going to be around for a long time to go because they're just one of the best elastics. They don't rot, really good playing, and they've been around, like I say. Move on to hooks, seeing as they're the next thing. So I will always carry some pre-tides with me. I've always got hooks tied, but the pre-tides, if you don't like tying fiddly hooks for canal, they're spot on. N10s, so I do like the N10s. Obviously they've got more of a rounded body, if you've seen them, at the bottom, and that just enables your pinky or your maggot just to sit right in the groove, and you don't get as many, like you pull out a fish because maggot's flicked over, or got a fly attacking my eye there, because maggot's flicked over or pinky's flicked over, and that reduces it just because the bait sits right down in bottom, and honestly. Then since I've moved on to them N10s, they're awesome. As you'll probably tell by the hook box. Let's open this. A few hours worth in here. I think I'd cry if this ever got like wet and my hooks went rusty or I lost it, because for those of you who can appreciate tying hooks by hand, there's a lot of hours gone into this. But these cover all my canals, so whether it's from big lakes, I take this abroad with me as well, international fishing, but mainly the N10s, N40s, and I tie them from 0722s, 0820s, 0818s are the main ones that I fish. But then if there's a few bigger fish about, or I do want a bigger hook, they've also got them tied. So the mainly I do tie them 6-inch, so they're my main go-to, but I have also got some smaller ones, 4-inch, just for if you're bagging, you need it bulked down, rigged straight to the bottom. Obviously the canal's that solid, you do have to do that sometimes, but I do more like a tapered bulk if I'm going to fish any, but they're all in there just in case I need to. Yep, N10s, they're my main go-to. N40s, I've got a few of them in there as well, all different sizes. A few N30s for worm I like. They're a big strong hook if I'm fishing for like any chub or big perch, or I'd like them. But they all stay in there, ready to go. Another pre-tied, so these are all I use on the feeder. So they're the N30s, they come in 1 metre, size 16 or 14 I like, or 13, spot on, literally straight off at spool, straight onto my rod and cast them out, no messing around. I don't tie any of my own feeder hook lengths, I just don't see the point. I'm a bit more finicky with my pole rigs because I think they're a bit more delicate, but on my feeder, literally just chucking it out with a worm, they're the ones. I have a little box that I take for feeder fishing and it's got a few of them in it. But yeah, I use all pre-tides on them. Oh, put this back away. Don't leave home without one of them. Tie all my loops, get them all exactly the same size. That lives in there. Put that back away. And then this is where the business end is. So this is my stack that I take with me. Just get a bit of ground bait off that. So this has got the main rigs that I fish are the Kerries and the Powers. So Kerries I use on my short line. So these are my Kerries. As you can see, I got them from 0.5 all the way up to 3 gram. And I normally set up, so I quite like 0.75. That's a nice light rig. A gram, 1.25 or a gram and a half, depending on what section of the canal I'm on, depends on the depths. And they're normally on a high bulk and 3 or 4 droppers, just for a nice fall but still quite positive. Got a nice hollow bristle, so really visible, really nice floats. And then we've got the Powers, which are roughly the same body but just a bit bigger and a bit chunky. I like these on the long line, really visible. Fish these for my skimmers, normally fish like between a gram, gram and a half, 2 gram, 2.5 depending. Sometimes it does run and you need a bigger float. And then I've also got a few floats underneath that I use. A few pencil floats set up as well. Just a bit of everything really, just to cover all occasions, but they're my main go-to ones obviously. Fishing tapered fruit water, hang on to it for catching them roach. Lovely floats. That's the stack that I take with me. That's the ground bait I use, my hooks, my elastics. If there's anything else that you think I've missed or you'd like to know, drop me a message and I'll answer it. And if I don't, drop me a message on my Facebook. I'm more likely to answer that than my YouTube. But thanks for watching, hope you've enjoyed and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers guys.